Bit of a delay. Bit of a delay there. It's my certifiable crazy. You guys looking at this like a bunch of straining monkeys in a zoo, huh? There he is, the man of the hour.
That thing looks like nobody.
Huh?
That thing looks like nobody.
Oh, golly, man, these guys simultaneous. The shock jock of YouTube now, David. David likes to create controversy. That's how you get those 500 some views.
My Uncle B.
Huh?
Now.
I don't believe in shocking the jock. The last time the jock got shocked, it
All
was
you,
very, very, very much.
Don't do
all
that.
you
Get
gotta
jock
do,
itch.
all you gotta do to get people's go this day and age is politics. You know,
I don't do politics.
you be you be an anti-Trump guy, and you're gonna get
But I like Trump.
Tony, your fan's pretty quiet.
fan. This one up above. You ever see this kind of fan before?
That's your only fan.
Yeah, that's the Chinese one that works quite well, and
We're all over the Philippines.
16 hours a day. But when these things start, if you're not used to them, watch this. I don't know if you can get effect on it. It's got
No,
a
don't
switch,
turn it off. Oh, no.
but they make the cords too short these days. You can only extend it so far. Listen to it when it starts up. It's spinning in this little gear like a ball, and then it drops into where it needs to be, and then it starts moving.
Kind of like us
But
getting old.
yeah, I was wondering whether I probably should have made this for an hour earlier. I get myself set up, and I'm like, what does my thing say 67 minutes for?
Yeah, it should have been an hour earlier.
Yeah, well, I got out got out here. I thought, oh, I got it at 7 o'clock. That's enough, boy.
I'm packing for my trip. Here's my whole bag.
Yeah, man. I don't know how you're gonna have enough muscle to reel in those huge fish.
Hey,
Yeah.
all he needs to put in there is his Speedo.
Yeah.
I wear that everywhere I go. I never take it
Be
off.
out on the bikini boat with his Speedo.
That's it.
So what do you do with the thong? Do you alternate?
Look like a boiled lobster.
That one.
Thong would disappear, huh?
Yeah, we're about
Oh.
ready.
It's 39. It is 46 degrees back home right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's 64
Nice
here.
and chilly this morning.
Yeah. I opened
I
up
golf-
the front door
hey.
to get some air.
Yesterday morning, I had a tee time at the golf course at 7:50 a.m. It was 46 degrees.
Oh,
Man,
you
you
like
must be rich.
you like
can afford
you like
golf.
that garbage that much?
Man, only rich people go golfing.
Hey,
Nah. Hey, poor ugly people do also.
I tried that when I was in the army with one of my sergeants, and I thought I looked cool, and I went slicing the freaking ball. I'm like, fuck, forget this shit. There was it was back in 1981 or two. There was a thing on the radio down there. It was on what was it? Shoot, I forget, the 95 Wheel Rock. They got the Loop, and they had a story in there. You got to play a golf ball. Whatever happens, you hit it. Whatever happens, happens. And this guy teed off, and he did a monster shot. It overshot the green and bounced over the fence, off a car, and came back in for a hole in one. Could you couldn't do that again the rest of your life, man.
I had an instance last month where I overshot the green, and there was a pavilion behind the green with guys sitting in there.
Heads
And
up.
I thought it went in and rattled around, but it hit the roof of the pavilion.
We scared the shit out of him, huh?
I
Well,
said,
you know,
"You fellas see a ball come through?" They said, "No, but
Yeah.
one hit the roof."
did something like something from Caddyshack. There's there was the 9-hole golf course there was laid out by Ben Hogan. And,
Where's this at? What are you talking about?
at Fort Sheridan. They closed
Which is
Illinois.
Illinois.
It's about it was about 60 miles south of where I was in Wisconsin. And
No, Chicago's 90 miles south of you, right?
no. From Fort Sheridan to I drove it every day,
Yeah.
day back and forth to Cudahy. It was 50. Actually, it was a 50-mile trip.
So it was
Round-
north of Chicago.
Well, hell yeah, it was 17 miles north of Chicago, Highland
Oh,
Park.
Okay.
And you know, me and him were out there. We're the only two guys there. You know, all the brass. I don't know what the hell hours they kept, but you know, I got up there and I thought, well, I never did this before. And he was a pretty cool guy. He's from Michigan, Mount Clemens. As a matter of fact, I finally shredded up that picture he gave me of his house with his phone number on it and shit. I'd be dead by now, but
I was
Hey.
golfing one time in Florida when we lived there, and one time only. I actually found it so boring. The only thing I enjoyed was driving the golf cart and drinking the beer.
well, I like to
I do.
swear underneath my breath every time I mess up doing something. So when I was in a trap shooting league and you know, they needed me for the handicap. I think I averaged the first year I averaged 19 out of 25, I think it was. And then when I missed one, I'd say shit. You know. And the guy next to me would be like, you know, he's like an expert doing that stuff. That's my first time. And I didn't know it, but my cousin told me because I shot with my cousin. And he said, yeah, the guy kept looking at you. I said, what for? Because you ain't supposed to do that, you know? But, you know, I was going, fuck, shit, man.
They'll get over it.
Well, my dad lent me a shotgun. It was a side-by-side, I think. I forget what number it was. Because other than the Army, I never fired a weapon. So this guy, I noticed my sight fell off. And one of the guys said, here, he had a 380 or something? I forget what that was called. He handed it to me, and I got the next 24 out of 25 shots.
I'm really confused.
The weight of the gun was just so freaking nice, you know. And when you're new though, you bruise up your arm socket here because it's dancing all over the place, you know.
I'm really confused. Shotgun, golf.
We just switched sports. I had enough of that golf one. I'm not a
All
fan.
right, thank God. 'Cause I'm like, shit,
Matter of
maybe I
fact,
can quit it.
you know, back in the days of one TV with no remote, my dad he liked falling asleep to golf, and then when I would change it, he'd say, "Put that back." I said, "Well, you're not watching it.
Golf is
I'm just resting my eyes." He'd say. You know, all kinds of other words were swimming in the background. You know, like with the. But it was.
I played football and baseball, and I was better at football, but I enjoyed playing baseball the most of any sport that I ever played. I really enjoyed playing baseball.
My father was never some. I mean, he didn't support shit. Just being there, it was to him. But I went to my Ohio and I played with in teams in our league with guys who went to school with, my cousins, you know. So first time at bat, on second batter of the season, I hit a home run. And I mean, I crushed that. Down there, they hit the ball and they run. And I just stood there at the plate and watched it till it hit the ground. And I came around. I went from sugar to shit real quick. I was good, but I have no confidence, man. When you don't have confidence, you just that ability it doesn't mean anything.
See, I was the
And that was
opposite. All kinds of confidence. I just sucked.
well, you try though. That's the point. See, when I coached little league and my eldest son and one kid up there, I stood. I went to school with these guys, so it was embarrassing. But this guy I went to school with, one of my friends, threw me three straight pitches down the middle, and I could have crushed any one of them. But I didn't want the pressure, on me. I was hoping the guy'd walk me, and then somebody else would get a hit or something. And I could have won the game, and I stood there, and then I argued with the umpire afterward, which they don't do down there. So when I had this kid on my team, um, I went to a different city school. That dude, we were playing the best. We were the top two teams in the league, but we happened to be in the same division. And this kid, he put the bat on the ball, and the first baseman, I knew that, everybody. It pulled him off the bag. So when it pulled him off the bag, nobody there to cover. Second baseman didn't come over. That really should have been the second baseman's ball. But when that guy vacated, and went to no man's land, there was nobody. The kid got a base hit. We won the game, because we had bases loaded or something like that. But he succeeded where I failed. So it was real cool to see somebody else have success.
Hmm. So what's happening
But
in the Philippines? What's happening, Tony? What's happening over there where you are?
we're here.
Yeah, what's happening? Anything good or just
Well, we went. We've been waiting on this other guy to come because we're going to dump sand. We're going to dump sand this Monday. 42,000 peso, like 10 truckloads.
Jesus?
And I came into some money from my dad's insurance thing. So I bought another 145 square meters for what did I pay for that? 216 or something like that. So now
You
I
mean
got the lot.
adjacent to your property?
Yeah, yeah. It meant I was looking at another one, but when word got out, because when they buy something, they put a fence up right away. So that was 221 square meters for two shit, 4,000 some dollars. And I went home. I sent my son a message. It happened to be evening time. Saturday night or something. So he went and wired the money, Western Union, and nowadays they wanna know why.
Yep, drug money.
Sure.
So, because you send that lump sum, I mean they're going to be crawling up your ass no matter what. So it was too late. The guys that were there making a fence went and alerted this other guy. First come, first serve. So the land was gone. That one was kind of within 145 feet of the end of my lot. So now I got the one that butts right to the corner of that. So now I can see when you have land here, um, they're real big on don't touch my shit. So the land the land that we got will actually help us dump and be able to get to the other part. If we didn't have that, they would have had to. They could only truck it so far in on the other side with the high tension wires, and then they gotta manually move it, or they're gonna doze it and then pound it down.
So you made sure that you had yourself a good right of way into your property.
Well, there is right now. I did. It just not. It became apparent that I thought there was a through street because when they when the former owner divvied up the land, divided it up, I'm on a dead end. So there's me and the property on the corner, and two across the road.
Yeah.
So there is no property at this moment directly across the street from me. I think a
So you
foreigner
said
bought.
you just bought this, but doesn't it take forever? to work your
Yeah,
way
that's the
through.
well, that's the thing because when I bought it, we were in America, the big lot,
Right.
545.
But
So I
this
had my
new
mother.
one, 'cause it's in your, everything's got to be in your wife's name, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this new one that you just bought, doesn't that take time until you can actually use it as a right of way? You know, if you want to
Well,
haul this stuff so quickly.
we can we. I have a receipt with the transaction on it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good.
So now we're just around here. You get that receipt. It's got the matter of fact, the seller was a keeper or what do you call it? Uh, what was that called when somebody takes care? Hey, Craig, what is
Caretaker,
that? Like? Oh, caretaker.
caretaker.
So they had a man and wife. So she signed it, but it's out 145. It's a legal binding document. Don't ask me why, but it is. I mean, you might get
145 square meters.
yeah for
That's like
I think
12 by 12
that's a no. Well, no, it's more than 12 feet, man.
by 12 meters.
145
44 square.
square. So yeah,
Yeah, is 12 meters times 12 meters.
okay. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying feet. I'm
So
like, what?
no, it's like 36 feet by 36 feet. Is it a square or is it kind of odd shape?
They said square, but they said square about mine too. But mine looks more like it's
Here's a
wider than it
rectangle.
is. Yeah, mine looks. The other one looks a lot wider than it does.
What's it called? Trapezoid. It looks like. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, you know that well, my father-in-law helped. He helped burn. He helped scorch the earth with that
Yeah.
pyromaniac.
Get them over there to clean up the new area too.
Dude, that burned down at least a foot and a half. And I ain't shitting you. That that's too bad it didn't do it evenly, man. Because it wouldn't be a big deal packing it down. But they're gonna doze it. And the mother-in-law got an offer here for 40,000. You know, so
Just a
once
total
once it
lack of like front loaders there. You know, because here, when you want land cleared, man, you bring in a front loader and bucket. I'm like, how come they don't exist in the Philippines? You know, I'm sure you could get all these Chinese ones. You know.
Yeah, they're all over the Philippines. Korean, Chinese. I got actually a friend who
Craig
has
had
a
none of that.
business that refurbishes heavy equipment in the Philippines.
Yeah, that'd be a good business to have a front loader because there's a lot of
That's what
earth
he does.
that needs moved and
Well,
land needs cleared.
they
That's what he
they
does.
know that here. They have a bulldozer. They're gonna do with it. I mean, these guys. You know what? I was over at my brother-in-law's place. He's having a new a big 2-bedroom built, and I thought to myself, what are these? You know, they're mostly concrete and rebar are their best friend here. So I look to my left and I see this, like a man, uh, a little utility belt. What he did was he cut the small container off, so he had about that deep for nails or whatever he was using
Yeah,
screws, and then he used a pair of I don't know where he got the rubber from, but he'd put it around his waist and tie it down.
yeah. Hey, they make the most out of anything, Tony. They make out of
Well,
garbage. They can make useful things. So when you
I
don't have the money to buy shit, you make it.
listen. You wanna hear about something that was genius? My uncle had a couple of cars, but he had a 70. He had a 69 4-door Plymouth. What did they call them back then? Not Fury, did they?
Plymouth
Yeah,
Fury.
Plymouth Fury. Yep.
Yeah. So the ignition switch was broke. And inside they got that cast, that zinc, uh, spotted. It's slotted.
Right.
So I'm looking at him, and he carves out of a huge. He gets the large spool of thread, the spool,
Uh huh.
and he notches that shit out exactly to what the grooves were inside. He puts a wing nut on the end of it, and he's got his starter. And my uncle, there was so much. He never bought nothing new. They never had much of anything.
Yeah.
When he was a kid and when he got older, there would be all these bikes sitting around. I say, hey, Uncle, can I get a bike? Can I get a new bike?
Hell no.
It's, I'll make you one out of the parts right here. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, they say necessity is the mother of invention, right? So
And I'm 12 years old watching this, you know, and I'm thinking, geez, man, you know, the most things I've ever learned by watching people. My dad didn't have no patience, and my uncle just, except he didn't like car commercials because he said the working man can't buy. Then he go into a rant, man, you know. But
like my first 2 or 3 vehicles I owned, I never changed the oil. I never knew you had to change the oil. I mean, if the oil was low, I just put more new
hey,
oil in.
I
I knew how to measure it.
I've had many a cars. I've had over 30 cars in my life, and most of them used. And I had a Camaro when I had my '71 Cutlass. I had a Camaro too, a '70, and no air cleaner on there. I didn't give a shit, you know. I left it off of there. It sounded cool without it. But when you got up to around 100 miles an hour, it start going, it start choking, you know. And the same cop busted me twice, 2 days in a row, both my different cars, man.
Craig, what are
He's
you drinking down there in Australia land? It looked like
It's like beer there, David.
northern beer. Is it beer?
Yeah, Great Northern Super Crisp.
Kind of
Can't
like
get
that.
nothing by you, man.
I like the label.
Yeah, Marlin.
Yeah, I'm big on fishing crap. That's cool.
Hey,
Man.
has anybody ever
That's
drank that
I can
dry
drink
it's dry
when
dry
it's
beer
night
from
time now. I
Japan?
can drink, not in the morning.
That's
It's
right.
called
You can
Sapporo or something like
You're
that,
welcome
or
to ship me
Yeah, Sapporo.
Sapporo.
Japanese beer.
Oh yeah, I drank it a
Was it
lot.
was it smooth?
I
No,
don't know. I'm not really a connoisseur of
Was
beer,
it
but
bitter?
it's okay.
Was it bitter like Heineken?
oh, Heineken's not bigger. Heineken's
Yeah, it is.
Heineken's beer for men, not that pussy ass Bud Light shit.
Heineken blows, man.
No, it's sharp. Let me say that it's not bitter. It's not smooth.
That's probably like
For
Tiger
me,
Crystal.
the Japanese
That's
beers have kind of a sharpness to it.
Tiger's like that. You drink it, you
Yeah,
really don't taste a little bite until the end.
yeah.
But
It's a lot
just
like
a little,
Tiger's not as good.
just
Tiger's kind of
just a little. But what I'm not used of is drinking on that 330 milliliter can. I'm used to the 12 ouncer because and I did the math. When you have that 330, you actually get an extra six to eight beers. You know, but I'm used to drinking at a pace of a 12 ounce. You know.
well.
But what about another beer? Another beer here. What about that?
Well, let me just clarify something. I want to backtrack a tiny bit. Heineken Dark is probably the best beer in the world. I absolutely love dark beers, and Heineken's great. Heineken, great. Dark beer is great. Here's a funny thing. When we were in Aruba or Curacao, I can't remember, one of the damn tropical islands, but this is the size of a normal beer bottle, right? Let's just say this is a regular beer bottle. Oh, well, here's a water bottle. So here's our regular Heineken bottle. When we go to Aruba and we eat out at this place that had great food, what did I get? I got a Heineken bottle this big.
Double
And I
the
think
price.
like 3 times the cost of this for this.
Yeah, you got a shorty there.
You know, never
Yeah, I
seen
never
that
liked that
little.
shit, boy. That was my first experience with a bitter. Forget that crap. But I got another beer. They make Anchor in San Francisco. Have you ever had that? Anybody?
No, never heard of it.
Anchor beer is out of San Francisco. What about that? It's another Japanese beer. ASAHI.
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 That's
Yeah.
okay.
That's a dry beer too.
I like it.
Yeah.
Have you, Craig?
Yeah,
Is that a smooth taste?
yeah, it's
Well,
okay.
Craig's going to send me some beer from his homeland. He just said he would. So I expect it next week.
I mean, I was never too picky as long as it was cold.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I
What
just,
about
I
the
mean,
beer?
just like this one at the moment, the Super Crisp. It seems tastes a bit smoother. Or when it's
It's not
really
gonna be. It's not gonna be that freaking ridiculous bite of bitterness at the end.
Nah, no, it's okay.
Maybe I like that. I like dark
Well,
beer.
they have a sale on it once in a while on Shopee. It's a home shopping thing, you know, like Lazada and
Mhm.
Amazon, and and you can get them single beers too if you want to try one. You don't have to get the whole freaking case.
You need to go
So
to these micro breweries, that make their stuff in house. When I was stationed in Oklahoma, I went downtown Oklahoma City, and I had this stuff. It was an ale. Okay, it was called Copperhead Ale,
Mm-hmm.
and that alcohol content must have been like 3 times what
Yeah.
regular beer was. I had 3 of those tall boys, and you almost had to carry me out of that place.
hey, we
It was strong stuff.
we
It was
back
smooth.
in I think Pabst was like when I was 16 in '77. I think Pabst was like $2 for a 6 pack, and they had that. I think it was a Danish beer, elephant beer. It had like 18% alcohol or something. Oh my god!
Yeah, we have lots and lots of microbreweries here in Northwest Arkansas. There's so much money here that we have
Well,
microbreweries hell on every other corner almost.
once in a while they will have beer on that shopping thing discounted, and they had that Asahi one. They had that. They were selling that for shit. What was it 34 bucks for a case? Because
Yeah.
all these other beers like Miller, a genuine draft's the only one you can get. You can't get Modelo. I love Modelo.
Yeah,
Oh
Modelo,
yeah,
Dos Equis.
Modelo.
Yeah.
I
Too
love
much
that
of
stuff.
that one is hard on my stomach.
But I can't get it. I can't get it there. Hey, everybody, say hi to Nanette here.
Hi, Nanette.
We
Hi,
did.
Hey,
Nanette.
my niece and her husband own a little. They make gluten-free beer. Okay, and I saw it in a local store. It's for 4 little 12-ounce cans. It was $13.50 for 4 12-ounce cans. I mean, it might
Uh,
be good beer. There's no way I'd ever spend that much money
I
on it.
I was looking at the Chang and Leo and all that, and that's mostly like the bitter shit. So I read up on it a little bit. But I out of curiosity, they also have Carlsberg smooth. It's a draft. They're light, like Carlsberg smooth. Now that's got to be a smooth tasting beer, otherwise I couldn't call it smooth, right?
I
You
mean,
know,
Tony, when we were young, when we were teenagers, man, we drank whatever we got.
Yeah,
And it was always the cheapest stuff. Old
Stroh was my
Milwaukee, whatever.
Stroh was my first beer I drank. I think I
My
told you
dad
guys this.
drank that. He liked Stroh's because
I
that
love yeah, I
reminded
like
him
it.
of German beer the most. From
Oh,
World
I
War
like
II,
I
he had
liked it.
German beer.
I didn't find it bitter,
Yeah.
as a kid,
but
the beer I remember the most because of the cans was, if you guys remember the brand, was it Hams?
who?
Ham. I
Beer
Oh,
don't think I
Hams
ever
is
saw Hams.
that
dude.
had
Hams
had the
in the
really
land
cool
of sky
nature.
blue waters. That was their commercial. Had a big bear on there.
Yeah, they had these really cool nature scenes on their beer cans.
Yeah,
I thought those were the coolest things ever.
dude,
Uh,
that beer is rock gut, man. That's what
yeah,
that is.
a lot of it here was river
Hey,
water, man.
hey, I was in I was in the I was in the bar one time, and I knew a lot of whatever subject was always up. I knew a lot about it. So one day I come in there and they said, okay, I was one of the regulars, and hey, Pete's got some free beer here. So I took a glass and I tasted it. I thought, my shit is nasty, man. I said, this has got to be Hams, and it was.
Yeah.
And one guy turned to me, he says, do you fucking know everything?
Tony, I got to tell you this story. My boy who's graduating next week, high school, right? About a year ago, I think it was a year ago. You know how kids nowadays, if there's a party, they just WhatsApp each other, or Snapchat, or whatever they use. Say, hey, party at so and so's house, right? So my son, he says, hey, can I go to my friend's house? And I always ask, right? Because I know. I said, parents going to be home. Yeah, okay. So I just thought he was going to his friends, to play a computer game or something. So I go to bed about midnight. Call, it's the police department. And he said, we have your son here, and there seems to have been an underage drinking party. And
No.
so I go over there. He said, I'm not. He admitted that he's been drinking some beer, so I'm not going to allow him to drive his vehicle home. I said, yeah, he was planning on staying overnight anyways. But I understand. We'll come. So me and his mother, we go out there. I didn't even say a word to him. He knew, he was stupid what he did. Not now. Here's the stupid part. These people lived in a condominium, right? They had people on this wall and on the other wall. They were in the middle unit of a 3-unit condominium, right? The parents were away on vacation, so my son lied to me saying his parents were going to be there, right? But they had 40 kids in there, music,
Oh my God.
drinking beer, and at 17 you're thinking, oh, gee, the neighbors will never know.
That's
And you
right.
got a neighbor on each wall, right?
Nah,
You know how they bump
it
the
happens
music
every
out.
day.
And I'm thinking, idiot kids, 40 of them. And I talked to the cop when I get there. He said, I'm not going to do anything for your son. He admitted he had been having some beer, and he was one of the only ones that stuck around. They split like
Roaches and
cockroaches when you turn the lights
Hey,
on. Someone said,
Hey.
oh, the cops are here. So kids were going out back doors, windows, and my son and like 4 others, the only ones that stayed there and admitted, yeah, we're here. So the cop was saying, he said, look, I'm going to let him off. I just want you to take the vehicle home. I give him credit because he stuck around. He admitted it. So no problem. He said, I don't foresee anything. Well, like the kids that bolted and the ones that stuck around lied and didn't give up names and all, because cops want other names. And these
I don't know. I
kids
didn't
were
know there was
making
a
up.
party
They were
here.
lying to the cops and stuff. So it
Hey.
got pressed charges for underage
Let me-
drinking. So we had to go
let me-
before a magistrate. They had to go to four Alcoholics Anonymous classes
When
and
I
do 10 hours of community work.
Really? Wow.
when I got
What's
busted
it?
for
Smith's
drunk
beer.
driving, when I got busted for drunk
Schlitz.
driving and went to court, all these kids were in there for curfew violations. I was in there for DWI, and they all stopped to listen. What are you doing?
Watching that one.
Yeah, I was wrong. I thought it was Ham's beer, but it was this Schmidt beer that had those really cool beer cans back in the day.
Hey, listen. When I was in Ohio, my auntie, she had a daughter from her first marriage. His cousin named Larry Arnold. He was a cop. So I come back to visit when I was 14, and I'm drinking. Just drinking and drinking. I'm messed up. I was laying on the lawn in front of their house, and I felt every single one of those freaking 100,000 mosquitoes that were biting the shit out of me. But I couldn't move, man. I could feel this. So when I finally get around to getting up, everybody's laughing at me. I look up. Here comes Larry. He's on duty, and he said, "Whose house is this?" I said, "I think it's Andrew Mauer's brother's house." And he didn't tell on me. He didn't rat on me or nothing. He just, broke it up. Well, because my aunt and uncle, whether, they, if you disrespected them, that you were gonna get it. I told you a story about my cousin wincing for the next blow from his dad. I stayed 12 feet in front of him, man, and I'm kind of wanting to laugh, but I knew if I did, he's gonna make an extra effort to come get me, So when he said,
I remember.
"Hey,"
I remember a time when me and my buddy worked for a used car dealer, so he always had like an extra car to drive, some piece of junk his boss would let him take. We were down Main Street of our hometown, and it was late, and the hot dog shop was just about ready to close. So my buddy Mike, we'd been drinking a lot, So he had this great idea. Let's go down to a hot dog shop because everything they have still on the grill, they'll just give away at closing time. So we'll get some free hot dogs and fries, right?
Yeah.
So good idea. So we're driving. His car breaks down right on Main Street. And we get out. We're going to push it off to the side. And it's this big old Buick station wagon. So we're back there. And we're both pushing. The car's not moving. I said, Mike, did you take it out of park? And he said, let me check. He had left. He was so drunk, he left it in park. And we're trying to push it off the road. Oh my God,
Oh,
we were laughing so hard we almost pissed ourselves. Luckily, the
yeah,
cops didn't show up, and we were the only
I was
vehicle
at
on Main Street that time of night.
I was at
Oh,
the I was at the ex's high school reunion. They're a couple years younger than me, and I'm sitting outside. They all thought I went there because they're chumming, drinking, and he's telling this story. This one guy's telling a story about one of their friends, a football jock kind of guy, always doing the drinking. And he's telling the story, and the guy got home, and his key didn't work in the door, and he's beating the shit out of the door, man. I think he busted it down, and it wasn't his house; it was the neighbor's house. You imagine that? You got them
Yeah,
old people.
we had that happen. We were just the neighbors. But some drunk idiot
But
trying to get
these
into
were
our
old people, man. They were old people, dude.
I did that
So
one time in my barracks, Tony. I was in Texas, went out for a night of drinking, and what we did was in the barracks, you shared the middle bathroom, right? So you're on one side, and there's two beds on the other side, but in the middle is the bathroom you share. So I come back from drinking, and I crawl in bed, get under the covers, and I'm like, oh, I got to piss, right? So I get up, and I go in the bathroom, and I take a piss, and I come out. The bed, and the bed's fully made again. In my
uh-oh.
drunk mind, I didn't think, well, gee, I just got out of bed, why would the bed still? I pulled the covers down, got in bed, crashed out. Next morning, door opens, sunlight blares in, I hear a guy say, who the hell are you? And I said, who are you? And then I looked at the room, it was exact opposite, because they were on the other side of the building. And I looked around, and I was like, I know what happened.
Who the
But
fuck
the
are
idiot, he
you?
didn't lock the bathroom door from his side, So I drunk ass. I had a 50-50 chance, and I took the wrong door. Ended up sleep. Luckily, he didn't have a roommate, right? Because there were two beds in the room. I'm
My
glad I didn't crawl into bed with some guy. I would have got my ass whooped. My
my
drunk
my
ass whooped.
my friend's brother, one of my friend's brother. Oh, he was older than us, and he lived downstairs in the basement. So he had this girl over. He was banging, and she was in my class. So this Tom was about 6 years older than her. And my friend's dad, he eventually died. He had cancer, mouth and all that shit. And he gets up to go take a piss, and here she is sitting on the toilet, man. And he's one of these guys where, hey, if you ain't married, ain't gonna be none of this in my house. How you doing? Oh my god, that was funny. My mom would catch me once. I didn't get high a lot, but I was out getting high, and my mom. I come home, my mom's in a good mood for a change. She said, "You're high." I said, "No, you're high." And I'm laughing. I don't know if I ever told you guys. My high school, we had this auto shop teacher named Mr. Annis. So that was already, the guy had like acne kind of shit. And one day, we had
ANUS.
been out, we had been out getting high, So we come back to school, and the auto shop was in the afternoon. And he says, he comes up to me, and, everything. You find everything funny when you're high. And he comes up to me with this fucking stupid face, and he said, "I thought I told you to get books, or not come in." I go, "Well, them fucking guys don't have no books. You don't say nothing to them." He said, "You're high." I said, "No, you are, man." Everything he said made me crack up. I'm like, you're pretty aware. You're pretty aware of your surroundings when you're stoned. And when I
I
said,
know this might be hard for you gentlemen to believe, but I had a
I was
reputation
better.
as a student who was a little bit of a troublemaker.
Who,
I
you?
me, yeah.
What'd you do?
And
Fart?
I know. I remember the first teacher I made cry. He,
Get
uh,
out of
his name was Mr. Glass. He was a math teacher, and I hated math class. But there was a chick in this class. I don't know if it was like seventh grade. Her name was Shelly. I
shit.
remember. I
You
remember
had a chicken class?
No, it was a math class with a chick in it named Shelly. And I liked her. She liked me, I guess. And so he came
She's a
over.
chicken.
He walked by because he kept telling us to shut up, and I wouldn't do it. I don't listen to authority. I have a problem with that. And he came over. I remember he came over and smacked my leg. I came out of that chair so fast, had him pinned up against the wall in a blink of an eye, and all I could see is these tears coming out of this poor 50-year-old man's eyes. Don't hurt me. Fucking coward. Then why are you touching me? Don't touch me. But that was seventh or eighth grade. That was the first teacher I made cry.
Hey, I drank some Mogan MD 2020. It's got Mogan David. You
Mm.
know, I drink some of this shit before school, and 7 o'clock in the morning. I drink it at 6:30. My first class was choir class, man. I had my head down on the desk, and the teacher says, "What's the matter? Couldn't handle it?" I said, "Man, I don't know."
M&D is not Mad Dog 2020?
He could smell. What's that?
I thought it was called Mad. I never drank it, but
Mad Dog 2020. That was the nickname.
Mad Dog was the nickname.
Yeah, Mogan David was the. It might have been a nickname. Mogan David 20.
What?
We call it.
I didn't know that.
That was
Yeah, because
what?
Mogan David is MD, so someone made up a Mad Dog for MD instead
I
of
thought
Mogan
it was
David.
your name.
Yeah, I thought it would be cool to do that before school started.
I mean, what a great marketing name for an alcohol, Mad Dog 2020.
I'm sure he smelled the
And that wasn't
wine.
there some kind of sangria wine
Hey,
too? I
you
forget.
know what? That was 1977. I have never touched wine since that day. Not that shit.
Yeah, I'm not big on wine either. I like red sweet wine. That's the only
It
kind of
sneaks
wine
up. It sneaks up on you too much. It's good for you. It's good for your heart, but then it's got the sugar.
Well, let me tell you the wine that all the Filipinos in this part of the world love to drink, and we drink it by the gallons. It's called
Wine in a
Stella,
box.
no, Stella Rose.
Yeah. I know. I've had that.
Stella Rose. It has a
Yeah.
lot of great flavors, and I like it too. It is so good that you can literally. It's like taking a beer.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
sit there and drink it out of the bottle.
Is that a boxed wine?
No, it's a bottled wine. Stella Rose.
It's a twist off cap. Some of them have corks, and I was kind of disappointed because they were out of the Stella Rosa at Pick and Save, and I said, well, I'll try this one. It was a bit bitter. The Stella Rosa was perfect. The other one, I go, how am I going to open up this fucking thing?
They got peach flavor and mango.
So,
Those are the two that I drink.
a good idea came. I said, oh yeah, I got this thing with this cork. It's kind of a spiraled thingamajigger. I didn't know what the hell it was, and I twisted it in there, and then you spread the what do you call it, the little fingers out.
Yeah.
You ever have soju in Korea or sake in Japan?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
That's nasty.
Kid,
I
every freaking day there's a kid crying here, man.
I like
Every son of a bitch.
I'm taking a bottle of Crown Royal caramel.
That's expensive stuff, man.
To Mississippi with us.
Crown Royal's expensive.
Yeah, this is caramel flavor. We're gonna sit outside on the water, getting eaten by giant mosquitoes, and have a sip or two of Crown Royal over ice.
and then the mosquitoes are going to get drunk off of your blood.
Maybe get into some. Here's what you do now. You have the wife drink something. If you're looking to be getting it on that night, get a big bucket next to her, because if she throws up, you can still continue doing what you're doing, and she can throw up.
Now that's what teenagers do. Here's what old married couple.
You don't get a bucket. What do you get now?
No. With my wife, all I got to do is she doesn't drink. So my favorite thing to do is to get her have one drink, and then she'll go to bed and go to sleep, and then I can enjoy.
Oh, that's a dead. That's so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I can enjoy my quiet evening.
Are most Filipinos like that? My wife, you get like one drink, one beer.
Mine don't drink either.
Glass of wine, forget it. She's done. She's
That's
the cheapest drunk.
Thank God.
Glenn will have a couple now, but I remember the first Christmas party she came to with me. The other girls there give her like 4 or 5 wines in like 15 minutes, and she's laughing. And then the next minute she's hanging on to my ankles, and I had to go get the car and carry her back home to
Yeah.
the car.
Lucky for you, she was little.
Take me drunk. I'm home now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, and how I found this out was when Laura and I first got to the United States, I had to go teach a conference in Arlington, Texas. I was still teaching then. And so a company flew me down and, paid all the bills and all that crap. And I needed to study every night when I came back to the room from teaching because I needed to get prepared, for the next day. And so finally, the second day we went and ate like at Joe's Crab Shack. And this Lorelai's brand new to the States. And I encouraged her to have a drink. She got, I can't remember what it was, but the time we got back to the hotel room,
Ooh,
man, I had peace and quiet and could study.
that butter's kind of rich, man. That's not a good combination with liquor.
So that's what I learned.
I did that, man. It felt like I had like that bread I had. It was partially processed, and I felt like I was in some freaking alien movie. This big freaking chunk of bread from a Subway sandwich comes freaking out of me, man.
Well, we're going to have a lot of seafood, hopefully in Mississippi.
Hey, you know what a corn on the cob looks like when there ain't no corn left on it? That's what that looked like. Oh man,
We're looking forward to Mississippi, though, guys. I'm telling you. Hopefully.
You gotta come over here. The typhoon that hit, it hit Guam and then went on its way to Manila. So we're kind of skirted by this stuff all
So
the time.
missed you totally, huh?
Yeah, that was way the hell up there, man. Guam's off the right, parallel with Manila pretty
Guam
much.
got hit hard, apparently.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there's a guy, Life in the Pacific now. His name, I
David.
forget his name. Yeah,
Dave,
Navy guy. Yeah.
Dave's over there. There's a few of us.
So he's jockeying back and forth between that and this.
When I was
Yeah.
stationed on Okinawa, Japan, we had one come right over it. The eye came right over it. And I was living Japanese. The Japanese government built a lot of the base housing for the U.S. military. So I was in a 9-story concrete tower. Okay.
Wow.
So it was. I mean, they're built typhoon proof and supposedly earthquake proof.
Right.
But I was on the 5th floor, and we had this nice sliding glass door to a little porch that we had, right? And that hurricane, the rain was going horizontal one direction, and then the eye came over. It was nice blue sky, birds were flying around, and my ex-wife, my wife at the time, said, "Oh, it's done." I said, "No. It went from like 200-mile-an-hour winds to nothing, right?" She said, "Oh, it's done." I said, "No. Now we're in the eye." And of course, when the other part came by, the rain was going horizontal the opposite direction on that big glass door. What an amazing! But I'll give them credit for construction. That building, you could feel sway just a little bit, but it was totally reinforced concrete, the whole 9 floors. So
Look how they make stuff here, man. I mean,
yeah.
it survives everything. Even the churches that were built in the 1600s, 1500s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. You see some of those churches, you think, how in the hell did they construct them?
Yeah.
Back then, before heavy equipment.
Yeah. Like what is it, the Notre Dame church? In Europe, my God, the math alone. And, and this is something that, whether you get off on, ancient aliens or we're all aliens or whatever we are.
Yeah.
Alien.
Or we've been visited or not visited.
Yeah. You're thinking there's no physical way our human being in that era could have done what they did, right?
Well,
given what we know now.
Well, and what bugs
People are
me,
pretty resourceful sometimes.
yeah, but what bugs me is we automatically assume that the Mayan Indians or the Egyptians or the Greeks are I don't care what the Mesopotamians, whatever world, whatever it was 200 or 1,000 years ago,
Whatever civilization, yeah.
we always assume that they are stupider than we are.
Yeah.
You know, that we're smarter than they are
Right,
because we're
right.
more advanced. But look, like we talked about earlier, necessity, right, is the mother of invention. When you
Right.
need to do something, you figure it out. So I get
Right.
really irritated when people say, oh, you know, the Mayan Indians or whoever, you know, well, they just didn't have the knowledge to do math.
What? Yeah.
They
But
knew
if you,
solar
what
systems
really
1,000
tripped me
years
out
before we did. It's like,
was
anyway.
sometimes they see these satellite photos of these Mayan temples, and if you look from them from a satellite view, they make certain patterns, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from outer space. These are people
Dude,
supposedly didn't have
dude.
electricity, right?
There's so many things. We got endless sources of food, you know, and you know the big turnover with chickens and pigs and all that. That's for a reason. Everything. It's so there's so much more than we could ever fathom. Man. It's just,
Yeah, you only look the mathematicals in those structures equivalent to the light year time and the circumference of the Earth and the
Right.
true north and everything else
Right.
within 0.013 microns or whatever. It's like we couldn't do it now, but if you knew how to the electrical and magnetic fields and the frequencies, a whole different look at it from a completely different angle, then it's possible.
Right.
But we don't accept that, you know.
Right.
Yep. That irritates to me that we always got to look back and go, we're the smartest civilization now. Those other people.
there's the proof right there. You can look at it, man. It's not like somebody's word, like a story that
Have
a
you
fake
seen
story that started out little and got bigger.
I forget where they are, all over the world. These huge stones that were into walls, and you can't even take a sheet of paper and slide it between them. They are so perfect.
I think that's in Machu Picchu and
Machu Picchu.
Yeah, I think that's where that is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one there too with all those H blocks.
Yeah, the H blocks, the lock-in H blocks. Yeah.
But
But you just can't tell me that people.
But yeah. But what about Ballback and that, you know? 2,600 ton slab.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Busted.
Yeah. How the hell did they move those? You know.
Yeah. What's the use of them? Why would you have something?
And how did they build these castles way up on top of a mountain? That's almost, you know, you have to scale a cliff to get up there.
Yeah, I think you could. I think you could learn something from the Monty Python movie where they're catapulting cows over the wall. You know, I mean, new cows flew, man.
Well, hey Tony, you should be really happy you're not in America at the moment. We're in the middle of a shit storm here in the United States.
What happened? Somebody got photos of somebody.
Well, we got multiple things happening. You know about the Bud Light situation. Now we have a tart Bud Light beer. So you know.
Oh,
and now we have an issue with Target. And now we have an issue with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So right now that's starting to hit the media here. There's going to be a lot of craziness and boycotting come out to Target and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I heard this stupid thing about the beer, man. I mean, shit, you're going to sell beer no matter what. We're going to kiss nobody.
I ain't ever bought a Budweiser product in my life, and I don't ever intend to, so it don't matter.
Water.
They never got my money before, and Michelob too. I can't drink that shit because it messes with my sinuses. Whatever they use, the barley and hops, whatever's in there, screws my sinuses. Nope, don't touch it. Learned a long time ago. It makes my sinuses just clog up.
Hey, there's plenty other beers, man.
Oh yeah.
Well, LA Dodgers, you know, they're going to be in trouble next month because of they've invited some satanic nuns and given them a big award about how they say lie. I don't know.
Wasn't there a baseball announcer who was fired too because he said something on air?
Did you say
racially insensitive?
Yeah.
Hi, Papa G.
It was crazy. But
yeah, free speech is out the window.
Yeah, everything's out
Hey,
there.
hey, I got a month suspension from Facebook because one of my friends was Gilbert was making a comment to me, and he's Mexican Irish, and I said, "Okay, El Chapo," and they banned me for that. What the hell is that?
It's nuts.
But our politicians can do shit. They just call it politics.
I don't see how any comedian can operate nowadays. I don't
No.
think because
You can't.
you can't make fun of anybody except
Dave
for
Chappelle can.
fat old white guys. That's about the only
That's
ones
it.
you can make fun of. You know?
That's all you can do is make fun of us fat old white guys. Yeah. And the funny thing is, us fat
Hey.
old white guys, we don't really give a shit.
Hey,
Right.
I watch
Right, because
those
we've
old-
been called much worse in our life.
I
Right?
watch those old Johnny Carson shows where Don Rickles is talking about black people and gays.
It's fun.
You know what they should have, because they had that one dude. There's like 400 and something in the country, and because he identifies as a woman, he wins. They should have their own category, their own little league. Then you could have all the girls that want to be guys and the guys that want to be girls, and they could face off against each other. Because if there's a woman athlete, and you got some freaking ding dong with a dick that's going to swim against these people, and they give him, wins the race, gives them a championship, when the poor girl's been freaking working her ass off.
Hey Tony,
Huh?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
You want to impress me? Be a woman and go out for a man's sport, right? For a man's college football team, right?
Oh man, you imagine
you want to impress me? Go
Hey.
out and play with with the men.
you have the
Seems to be a guy, playing the women's sport.
The only thing that bothers me about what's going on, the wokeness, is the issue with teaching. And I don't have kids.
liberals.
And I
don't
don't
like them.
I don't want kids. But what I don't like is when any group tries to push their ideology of any kind on somebody else's children. I don't think public schools ought to do it. I don't think TV ought to do it. I think parents should be allowed to raise and teach and mentor and nurture their children the way that they desire, not the way that other people think they should be taught or desired or whatever.
What's a pain in the ass is they there's no freaking logic to this shit. You're just trying to figure it out. You go, what? Why? There's no end to why. It's like a 2-year-old goes, no matter what you say, a 2-year-old goes, why? Why?
It's just a total
Hey,
get everyone worrying about trivial little shit and point of view, so no one actually concentrate. There's got to be bigger issues. There is bigger issues in the world.
Yeah.
Why aren't? Because it's just easy. They seem to be doing the correct thing, but they're not doing the correct thing. What about Fukushima? 300,000 liters of fucking nuclear wastewater going in the Pacific every day for the last 13 and a half years.
Yeah.
We don't hear anything about it. Let's worry about what you've got to call me.
Hey.
Really?
During COVID, heart disease has been cured. So cancer too.
Yeah, I seen something today. They reckon this new cancer thing with the red blood cells is 97% effective.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit.
I'm not exactly up on the technique thing, but they said it's been effective in 97% of the trial people.
Well,
you got to get rid of it because there's too much money being made in the cancer industry.
Research, yeah.
Wow, people claim that. They claim they had a resolution to it in the 50s and 60s, but money.
It would be really interesting to look at the positive side of COVID and say what came out of all that money, all of that research that went into COVID.
I allow you to be friends with me.
That would be an interesting point of view.
This COVID thing has made me some new friends. Some I like, some I just tolerate. Just kidding. Yeah, you know what? When I hear people talking about those dudes and the girls and all that shit, and I go, and I keep thinking, this guy that's a dick. You got a dick. You're a man. Ain't no maybe about it. You're a dick. You're a dick man. You know. You just are. The whole world. Listen, if you talk about people getting hurt feelings, I mean, then let's just all stay at our houses and have our money delivered, and we'll never talk to another. Just cancel every social media thing and all that shit. Because if how bad it's gonna be, you go, that guy's weird. All of a sudden, you're getting.
That's the agenda because you just push it now and then in 15, 20 years, we'll all be dead and the other generation will know no
I
different. And you
I
just push
I
it
love I
further and
love
further.
these guys. I love the people that try to uh, explain something they have no idea what they're talking about.
Hey, that sounds like me.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's all of us. That's all of us. We all think we're
if you're
right.
confused, go get yourself some stick pussy, and then you'll be
Well,
fine.
I give out free advice all the time, whether anybody wants to hear it or not.
Yeah, the dogs are complaining. I heard them things today.
So,
So you just
they're
gotta realize
early in the morning. They don't wake up before 10.
95% of life is just bullshit. So you have to really enjoy the 5% thoroughly, because all the rest of it is just absolute.
Well, you know what? We're just
You're being
considered
manipulated.
boomers by the younger ones. We're the crazy old people who really want to just speak our mind. You know,
God, I'm
like
so.
I've had my kids say,
But
"Dad,
you're not allowed.
Dad, you can't say that." And I said, "What do you mean I can't say that?
No,
You
that's
you
right.
forgot we supposedly live in a free country,
That's it.
so
I mean,
you better not. Don't tell me what to say. You know."
if I make a clear point out a clear freaking fact there, you were born with a cock. You're a guy. Period. Call it a penis, a dick, a cock, whatever you want to call it. I probably get this freaking show banned here.
Well, I actually look at it a tiny bit differently. I actually look at it if your body biologically was designed or intended to give birth, then you're a female. So if your body biologically was geared, and now medically you may not be able to. I get that. Something may have happened too, but if the genetics was there so that you could give birth, then from my opinion, you're a female. Now, I don't know what the hell a guy is, but
You're a
that's
female if you got a dick. You're a
Now
female.
look,
can
we're
you give birth?
we're old enough. We're old enough and supposedly have enough common sense uh, that
Yeah, only those that have good common sense are allowed on this show.
that if we were like 0.2 of 1% of the population, we wouldn't stir up the shit and want everybody else to
You
feel
know,
sorry for us, and we
even
were free to live our lives as that 0.2
Amen,
of
brother.
1%,
Amen.
then I would just go along without making waves, right?
e-
No, that 0.2 of 1% of the population
I know.
wants to tell the other
yeah,
99.9%
yeah.
how
Yeah.
we're going to change the world to conform to them, right?
That's correct. That's what's
But
happening.
I super
Pretty
duper
right.
do not like anybody telling me how I should freaking
I
think.
don't care how anyone wants to live their life.
You know,
Don't do it. I don't care. But when it
but
starts impacting, and the thing is going to do, they're going to push it. You're going to have digital currency. Everything's going to be online. And then if you have
Right.
down the track, and then if you have a different opinion to what that
Yeah, then you can't
entitled,
spend that money or you couldn't earn that money. Yeah,
yeah, or they'll kick you out of the system because you don't fit in with what they want you to believe,
right.
which is the scary part.
Well, which will effectively put you in their re-education camps,
That's
or whatever
right.
you want to call them, or re-education society.
We'll just do you to this. If you don't want to do it, you sit there and suffer for another year, and then we'll come back and give you the opportunity to change again. But
That's
make
it.
your life so much hell that you have to have the same belief systems as everyone else to fit in. That's the agenda.
I agree with you guys.
Because the one thing control freaks don't want is freedom.
That's
Because
right.
freedom gets rid of
You know,
their
even the
power.
liberals don't. Even the liberals don't like that woke shit. You know, it's
Well, I don't see
it's
how a true feminist or
the
someone who's truly, you know,
dude. It,
like
this guy
lesbians.
had
I
a
don't know how they're going to go to bat for guys who want to be a woman. You know, I don't see that happening.
they got their own inner fighting.
I've
You know,
always thought that there should be a ban on dildos for lesbian. If you don't want that, you can't have that.
yeah, get rid of freaking. Don't make double D batteries no more.
But you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I need a beer.
You guys are troublemakers.
Well, you know what?
Hey, now, all I say is,
why does it take up so much time and we're worried about it all so much? Because it's just, as long as you treat someone well and they treat you well back, that should be all that matters. It's like,
But
you need to do
don't.
whatever you
today,
want. You shouldn't complain that other people aren't doing what you're doing. You know,
I agree.
you should just say, okay, you're free
yeah,
to
you
do
do
the
what
thing
you
you
want,
feel
I'll
how
do
you,
what I want, and
as
we
long as it
agree to
doesn't affect
disagree.
someone else's life.
I guess I go a different way. You know, we're
Right.
thinking about buying another house down in Florida, you know, down the road. And what I'm really or somewhere,
gigolo.
and what I'm really hoping is everybody will start hating on Florida. Anybody who doesn't agree with the government in Florida will move out, and the prices they will publish, and I can get a really, really nice house for almost nothing. So that's my mission.
I
And
think
I am.
if common sense is going to prevail, I think this thing we call a country right now is going to be divided
They'll
just
fight
like that.
common sense
Just
for
like
fucking
that.
hundreds of years.
There's going to be a woke and an anti-woke country. Or
Oh, you gotta, because they said I ain't got a fucking nothing, man. I don't got a
Yeah.
shit.
look, I don't mean to sound really bad, but the people like us who like to mind their own business, who like to take care of our own business and enjoy life, we're a lot tougher than the ones that want to stick their nose in other people's businesses.
right.
Because push comes to shove, we're going to box you in the damn ears and tell you to shut the hell up and sit down.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to
Yeah.
go cry.
Well,
"Ooh, they made me
they're just waiting for us to die off and then kill
Yeah.
off the only remaining remnants
That's right.
that are like us.
Because you come
Yeah,
at me, I'm going to knock you down, boy. You know.
All the intelligence in this freaking world and these decisions are so fucked
Yeah, and
up.
look who we have running the world.
A fucking guy they jack up with juice every morning.
You look at civilizations, which you can now YouTube. You can see other areas of the world, and sure, some of them might be under communist rule, but their societies operate, right? People go along. There's not people committing crime on their street. People can walk up and down their streets of all times, day and night. They can travel. They can go to a gas station without worry about getting robbed at a gas station or carjacked. There's not graffiti on the walls of their, hundreds, if not 1,000-year-old buildings, There are truly civilized places on this planet, but they're few and far between anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's, but maybe we're old school because look, if you want to do this or be that, then that's okay. Just don't try to force it on everybody else to do what you think that you want to do. And I know that's how they justify. It's called justification by ratification. So therefore, if I can get everybody to ratify my justification, then it validates my bullshit.
Right. Which all it's doing is validating their own inner self-worth.
That's correct. And I don't really care about your inner self-worth. I care about mine.
Right.
So.
And there, we've even on, we've had people that we've met, like you said, Tony, during COVID. We've met guys from all over the world. And we basically, we can sit around and bust each other's balls, but at the end of the day, we're friends.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what your politics are.
You don't
I
really
don't
care.
know what other in other people of the world. I don't even know some of their government systems, how they operate.
Yeah.
But we're here to a lot of times tell lies and laugh, or tell stories. and bust each other's balls and joke with each other. But and there are some that have gotten offended and taken their
Yeah.
ball and gone home that they don't want to be part of you
Yeah,
anymore.
Dennis,
That
Dennis,
happens.
you got that dictator Trudeau.
Yes, Dennis, we are a super panel. Thank you
Well,
for
Dennis,
acknowledging
the
our
western
super
part of
panel.
Canada should seek freedom from the rest of your country, Dennis. You'd be all right.
Oh, you must be burning a candle there, Dennis. Very kind of late for you, huh? Or early? It's early there.
What's he? Is he in Alberta? It's what?
Yeah,
8,
he's in.
8
Yeah,
a.m., 7 a.m.
I was
maybe.
thinking this PM thing is really messing me up.
I know it's time. It's 10 o'clock. It's time for me to go to the gym. 10 in the morning. I'm usually there by now, but since you started an hour late, I figured I'd hang around.
Late. Oh man.
So what time's the sun set there, Tony? About 6 o'clock?
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah. That's your longest day right now, right?
So, I was watching Green Acres the other day.
Green Acres.
Now here, David. Here's the thing: you got a pig that identifies as a person, human.
Uh-huh.
So you got to
What
dress
was
him
his
up.
name? Arnold?
Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold.
How did I remember that?
Foster Brooks was in that bar in New York City, and the guy said, "Hey, that pig can't come in here." He said, "Watch what you call my friend, or we'll take this place apart." And then the lady had a question about the pilot, and she goes up, and Arnold's got this goggles on with the leather help, and she opens the door. She goes, "I'm gonna go talk to the pilot." She opens it up. There's the pig. This shit was so stupid. It was fucking funny.
So what's everybody going to be doing the next week? We're going to go. We're going to go fishing and then eating and.
Not this weekend, but next Sunday is our son's high school graduation party.
Congratulations!
We're
Congrats.
actually going together with one of our Filipino friends. Her daughter's graduating same time, so we're going together with my son and her daughter having a pavilion rented. And since we're going to have Philippine food at both, we figured we'd just do one party, right? And we're going to have friends and whoever for their high school graduation party. So my son will be graduating next Thursday night or something, and he'll be off to college, and we have one left at home.
Congratulations!
3 more years of high school for her.
That fish floating in a bowl of something or other.
Yeah, hopefully they have lumpia there, and hopefully there's some Western burgers.
How old is your youngest kid?
15. She's going to be 16 in October. Yep. But, yep. Going to have a graduation party.
Congrats. We're gonna go fishing this week and shopping and house hunting and land hunting and eating food hunting and maybe gambling hunting, and then we're gonna come back and.
Do you know what part of Mississippi you're going to? Is it?
Yep, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
Oh, that's right, Bay St. Louis.
I've already booked a charter boat for one day, and then we're going to do a lot of shore fishing. Our Airbnb backs up to the water, so we're going to fish off of the dock, go to the pier, go to the beach, do a little shopping.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, the only time, and I've spent over a year in Mississippi for technical training in the military. It's the only time in my life I've been in Mississippi I was active duty in the military. I've never been there as a civilian. So, yeah.
Dennis.
Most of the time, right down on the coast, Biloxi.
Yeah.
But I've been through Bay St. Louis when I drove to.
I think in September we're going to go down to Gulf Shores, Alabama, or Destin, Florida, for a week in September.
Nice town. Ocean Springs.
Been there. We're real close to Ocean Springs, kind of.
Remember that Combat Craig from D'Iberville, Mississippi?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him on a live stream. someone said his health isn't good, or he's in bed, stuck
Who
in
was
bed.
it?
Remember, he always was in a wheelchair anyways. He couldn't get around too well. But yeah, he was in D'Iberville, Mississippi, which is the
Yeah.
Back Bay of Biloxi, Mississippi. Well,
Okay.
he's right down in that neck of the woods.
Well, Chris would know how he's doing. He was a regular on that show, wasn't he?
Chris Wren.
Yeah.
You guys
I don't
don't know, but OMJ, do you know the OMJ channel, Armandoro Journey? They're out of Mississippi. They got a channel that has a couple of thousand subscribers.
Like the Darth Vader of YouTube.
My wife had this. Speaking of Filipinos and guys from Mississippi, my wife had this friend, and she's 50, I guess, my wife's age, and she was married. In the Philippines, once you're married, you can never get divorced unless you're annulled. Well, I don't know if her husband's, they've been separated but this guy from Mississippi met her, corresponded, went over. He's living over there now with her. And I told my wife that's not good news because, even if the ex-husband or the current real husband doesn't want anything to do with her, if he knows she's involved with an American, he might try to get some money out or cause some stuff because she's cohabitating with, And in that country, adultery, of course, is punishable by whatever. So I told her, I said, that's not a good idea. Oh, but, yeah, she thinks she can get an annulment. But my wife knows. It takes years and thousands of dollars in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like a dead-end street for any guy that hooks up with a married woman in the Philippines,
Yep. Well,
because if you want to get married and spend your life together, it's a tough road to hoe.
I have a good friend out of Louisiana, who retired military, and he's done the same thing. He met up the sad thing about him, he's a great guy.
Yeah, these are wonderful people, but the circumstances just don't allow for what they want.
And he functions psychologically way better in the Philippines than he does in the United States. And he'd been living there 10 years with his common law wife, same situation. They own a bar, they own a business. So I don't remember which island, but remotely. And he came over for some family business right before COVID hit, and he got stuck here for almost 3 years because they weren't legally married, so he couldn't get back to the Philippines. He had to go back as a tourist. And so we did all we could to help them and support them, and they're a great couple and great people. But he knows that they can never get married. She can never come to the United States because that ex-husband, until he kills over dead, they can't do squat about it. And so they just live together in their little remote town.
I guess, yeah.
So.
And fortunately, the husband that's involved, the Filipino husband, doesn't cause trouble in their life,
Fortunately for this,
he could at any moment.
Right.
Yeah, fortunately,
there's that show Locked Up Abroad.
Especially once you start owning businesses, those businesses have to be in her name, and if he's still married to her, technically, he probably has an interest in it, right?
maybe. Yeah, I didn't get into their finances too much, but yeah.
If she were to get pregnant by him,
Well, they're all
her husband has a say in what their children. The child is his.
Right.
He can make. So if you wanna orphan the kid, then you can go orphan him.
And the good news for them is they have adopted, quote unquote, adopted a bunch of kids in the community. But they're my age and older, so they're not having their own babies.
What, the kids?
So, but they do a lot of great work, and they're a great couple, and I'm glad to know them. And they got a great little bar. And he seems to be the one American that is truly, from my perspective, found his true Philippine happiness in the Philippines. Truly one of the ones that just loves it, feels great about it. The pressure of the United States is off of him. you know, his life, I think it's the best fit for him humanly possible. So I'm just
Hey,
tickled.
fellas, I'm going to go now. Okay. Off
Go
to
work
the
out,
gym.
get some exercise.
See you again, Craig, David.
See you,
Yeah,
Kiko.
Anybody
I'll
watching?
I'll shorten the on time next week to 7 your time, Pico.
7 or 8. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay.
Get some exercise for all of
All
us.
right. Have a good week.
All right, buddy. Take
Yeah,
care.
you too.
Later.
Bye bye.
Oh, he went too. He didn't say he was going. Fine miss you. There he is, a freaking stooge.
There, my
Here
street
he
car
is.
went pooey.
We were just talking about you.
Why?
That fucker left.
The StreamYard went pooey.
Uh huh.
Don't be blaming
Yeah, I
this
got
on me. I'm the good one in the group.
I got you. So what I come on here tonight, Craig? Was it 11?
Yeah, 11 o'clock here.
I try to do mine at 7 p.m. here next week.
Yeah, we're 8 a.m. here in the United States.
I could have fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Well, good thing about this, I mean, before I was spending hours on here before the day, the day was just, morning. And I'd rather do it at night, on my night.
11 o'clock for me because the footy finished about 10:30. So I watched the footy in bed, and then I thought I clicked over and it said 67 to go, 4 waiting, and
Yeah.
60 seconds, whatever. And then I thought
Yeah.
I probably should put some clothes on.
Well, look, I had I said, we're about 45 minutes away. I think I'll go fire it up and, get the StreamYard, linking with the YouTube and all that shit. And I thought to myself, why does it say 67 minutes? I thought it was 20 to go. And
Now I thought
thought,
you did say 10 o'clock my time last week, but it doesn't matter.
well, it would have to be 7 p.m. here because I started this at 8 p.m. my time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I gotta stop. I gotta start this at 7 p.m.
Why is it 3 hours difference? I thought it was only 2.
No, it's 3.
What's the time there now?
9:22.
Yeah, okay, it's 12:22 a.m.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a
Must be-
minute.
Yeah, we're 9:22 a.m.
My computer is still on my American stuff.
Yeah, because I thought cause usually we have a 3 hour difference in summer, but then when we switch back in March, it's only a 2 hour difference.
Yeah. Right now it's I'm 13 hours ahead of the Philippines, so it's 10:33 a.m. What time you got, David? What time
No,
you got?
it's 9:23 a.m. in the United States.
Okay, yeah, that's what I got on my computer here.
I thought it would be 10:23 in the Philippines.
Right. p.m. It's 10:23 p.m. in the Philippines.
Well, I'm gonna start this one next Friday evening at 7 p.m.
We got
my
that.
time.
So it'll be 9 o'clock my time. Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be like
I
7
mean,
a.m. my time in America.
That's
It's kind of nice. What's kind of nice is that I don't get up in the morning. I was getting up in the morning back home and turn the computer on, and fuck, half a day gone by and done nothing. I mean, if I don't get out by 10 a.m., I ain't moving.
Right. Do
But
you,
you gotta see. Go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say, do you wake up early there with the roosters and dogs, like at 4:30?
Man, they don't wake me up. I wake up anywhere between 3 and 5:30.
Maybe you're still
3
getting
a.m.
twisted.
5 a.m., 3 a.m.
Because
Usually.
it's always early start to the day there.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. I mean,
Very
geez,
different.
when I wake up lately, especially when the sun's out, my day, it takes me till 2 p.m. in the state I'm from to get to where I am right now. And a matter of fact, it's only 52 Fahrenheit there right now.
Yeah.
And it's probably probably 80 now.
Yeah, it's 70 degrees where we're at. Hey,
You when I got
did you see that I had a video get over 20,000 the other day?
20, I thought you said you had 500.
No, we're up to 19,000 and something on one video.
You
Is that a
started with
short video? Shorts?
No, a real video.
Wow.
what's the thing about?
Otter Creek, Florida. What the
Oh,
hell
okay.
in Otter Creek, Florida? It's a
I don't think
30-minute
I-
video, and I think we've got and 19,000 and something views.
Well, what's the subject then?
Well, and now all it is there's a couple of there's a channel out there called What the Hells, which it has 700,000 subscribers, so it's a really big channel. But basically, he has a lot of side business hustles going on, and he bought some property down in Florida in the woods, and he's gotten a big fight with the little bitty 100 citizens down there and about water quality and theft and the corruption and all of that. And so his channel is mushroomed because of all this drama. Well, I did a video giving him, because you can tell he's starting to go off the rails a little bit, and Otter Creek, the town, the advice they need to move forward and become better.
Oh, is that what you got?
giving them advice.
So
Didn't
it's
you got
like-
with the crooked politicians?
What's that?
That have anything to do with a crooked politician?
Yes.
It's like 6 days ago, yeah?
Yeah. 20,000.
It says here 18K 6 days ago.
Yeah.
Otter Creek.
So I'm just giving advice, and it's done very well.
Good old Billy Bob and Billy Ray and
It's good.
Mary, Bath is scary, and Russ the Suds who can't be successful.
Wow.
That's my claim to fame this week, and then we're all
It's good. No, that's
vacation.
good. I watch it when I go. It's got little otters there.
Yeah.
I'm doing something I've never been able to do in my life. I get to build a house. I never did that.
Ah,
Yeah, right.
I'm just trying to figure out the colors here.
brown.
Nah,
Green,
man, I can't
blue.
do that. I can't do the freaking brown.
Green walls, and yellow.
There are
roof.
more choice. Yeah,
You only got like two choices.
there are more choices with white.
dirty brown,
grays.
dirty yellow, off white, or some weird sky.
Oh, David, it'll never look as good as your castle, but I'm gonna
We don't have
try.
a castle. We have a rundown shack that just looks
You
like
pay that much for a house there and has no basement, man.
you don't need a basement in Arkansas.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, you'd be down there having cockfights in the basement.
We don't need no stinking basement in Arkansas.
Won't let nobody from there tell me what to do.
You know how much money it would cost to put a basement in here? Because it's bedrock. It's really, good.
40,000 plus.
That's it. Don't be messing with Arkansas now. We won't be tolerating your disrespect.
You know, I heard this a joke that come from Arkansas.
Uh-oh.
This guy said, "What do you call a 6-year-old man having what does a 15-year-old girl say when they're done having sex or when they start having sex?
Hi, Daddy.
Pa, would you get off me or crushing my smokes?"
I thought it was one of the inbred jokes.
Hey man, this neighbor girl, she's about 8 years younger than me, I think. I remember them when I was a kid, and somebody sends me this friend request. Her name's Dawn, and when her mother, they had kids that were I think six siblings, and that their father left them. I forgot why, but it was just a mom. So she got this guy who was pretty cool. I can't remember what he looked like. But it turns out this guy raped her and her sisters, and she had an abortion, and one of her sisters kept the kid. And the mother said, "Well, it was their fault."
course.
because what I said was, who in this world wants to have a woman with 6 kids and the youngest one 2 years old? You know how hard it would be to get a partner that way.
Yeah.
And I just can't. That is so freaking effed up, man. I can't.
It is.
Oh my god. I just I think it's one of those things that would make me wanna do something I never thought I was capable of doing.
Well, our part of Arkansas, to be honest, is becoming like a big giant city like Dallas Fort Worth. You know, it is literally, even in the time that we were gone to the Philippines and back, and this time, there is so much going on here. It's just bonkers. There's a brand new Costco's going in. They're expanding the international airport.
Hey, they need it.
We're going to be out of here in another year or two, quiet and
They,
peaceful. This
they
place
need
is
a
bonkers.
they need an SNR here, like Sam Club, because the stores they got here, you can't. You can. I don't even know if you can get anything American. Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar, but SNR stores around big metropolises here, they do a good business because they got all this shit. I had to pay $13 for a big bottle of brown mustard.
Yeah. We went to the, what was it called? Landers in
It's
Cebu
like
City,
$6.
which is like your SNR or Sam's
Yeah, I
Club.
heard that. Well, we don't have that here. We don't have nothing like that here.
Yeah.
They got the population for it, and it would put a dent in the pure gold stores. Smaller grocery stores.
Well, we're all excited or fluttered about Costco's moving into Walmart territory. This is the home of Sam's Club. And so now Costco's is getting ready to build a big, gigantic facility right here, right in their territory.
Oh, they're gonna have those nice $7 an hour jobs.
Yeah, maybe $7.25.
Yeah. And an extra quarter sure makes a difference. You could be a greeter there.
I told you guys, I wish I could work. I mean,
They let you cruise around the scooter,
yeah,
like that Paul Blatt mall cop movie.
yeah, I wish I could have a job. I really do. It's one thing I
Yeah.
miss in my career.
Yeah,
I don't miss the people, or I don't miss all the people. I miss a few people, but I sure do miss
No.
being having value in life.
I had contact with the lowest of the low. My intelligence was slowly getting zapped and taken from me because I had this issue of somebody asking me a question and me breaking it down in its simplest term, and they still don't get it, and I just kind of start laughing to myself. And they say, "What's the matter?" I go, I don't know what else to tell you. I told you go across the street at that corner. Where's that? The fucking corner. You don't know what a quarter is. One chick says, "How do I get to Route 19?" I said, "Well, you take this bus, you get off on First and National, and then you walk up to the Second Street."
Yeah.
She says, "I don't walk anywhere." Well, I guess you ain't getting there then, are you?
Well, I wasn't much of a somebody, but at least I felt like I was somebody sometimes. Being old
Yeah.
and retired, I can't, you don't feel like you're very contributed to.
Well, you get to express your thoughts and feelings on stuff that most people wouldn't because
Because they can't stop me.
yeah. Well, this guy never shuts up. This class cost me $100. Well, I better get a frickin' A out of it.
That's it. You can't stop me from running my mouth on here. So,
Just wait till I get married.
oh my goodness. Shit.
Time is it? 9. That's home. I can't tell no more. I got my time on American time. It's 10:34 p.m. here then, right?
Yep. All right, guys, I got to get off of here so that I can get the car packed up and get
Yeah.
the car checked out and start rounding up and getting organized so that we can get out of here.
Get out of here. Why you so bent on leaving Arkansas? You just built that house.
We're going to go on vacation.
Huh?
I'm going on
Oh,
vacation.
Yeah. I'm going on vacation to Mississippi.
Mississippi.
I'm
Used
going
to
to go down
misspell
there.
that freaking state all the time. MISSISSPPI.
You know,
You know, people say that to me. I'm like, who gives a shit?
how
You
much
know,
I love to fish, so I'm excited. I just want to go fishing.
well, you can do that. Put them in your tub. You got a tub there, man. You sit there on the
Hey,
stool.
yeah, and I'm even bringing my vacuum sealer because I plan on bringing in like 500,000 pounds of fish, and I'm gonna vacuum seal it
That
and pack it and
fucking
freeze
gold.
it and bring it home.
That goldfish you had on the line there.
That's
That
not.
baby was.
Don't be
That was a
picking
lot of fish.
my
That was a
little.
lot of fish, man. A lot of fish. You should
Wait,
have. You should have this guy that we have here named John. Well, his dad named Earl Gillespie, popular, sports guy, and his son John started, and he was the top, sports guy, like whatever, the chief, meteorologist type, and he had a nervous breakdown, man, because the job was tough, I guess. Now there's a local guy in there again, but he's on public television now on these fishing shows,
yeah.
and he sits he sits in a freaking car until they catch one, 'cause he's in there slamming them Pabst Blue Ribbons. So he'd see a guy, the guy would start reeling up the fish, and he'd come running over there, and he could hear him hit the ice, like belly flopping. He goes, oh man, I get that one must be 28 inches. The guy goes, sorry John, it's 21. Well, it looked like 28. Like,
Hey, I know you know about walleye fishing a tiny bit. Have you heard of those two guys that a couple months ago got arrested for cheating the walleye tournament, right?
yeah,
They were
no.
putting those large weights inside of walleyes to up their weights on the.
Well,
I
that
don't know where
fucking
you're from, that part of the country.
no, man. I heard nothing. Well, I'm not over there now, but
Well, no, this was about 6 months ago. They got arrested for. They got caught.
get some
But got
bitch.
caught live on video. Well, yesterday I guess they finally got sentenced. Because
They got caught. You mean somebody had a video rolling while they were stuffing these weights in them?
No, here's what happened because at the tournament you got a tournament manager, whatever. When he's weighing these fish in, he's holding this fish up, and you kind of know when a 5-pound fish, how big a 5-pound fish is. And he's like, wow, that thing weighs 7 pounds. So in his head, he's going, So he decides the smart thing to do is to get a knife and have his co-person video him cutting the bellies open, and out comes all of these big ass lead sinkers inside the bellies of these 5 walleye. And so it's a big hoorah all over the internet, all over the world. And so they finally do get arrested and charged. The sad thing, they're only going to they only have to do 10 days in jail.
Hey.
They'll be on probation for 2.5 years. They lose their fishing license for like 3 years. But yet they have stolen. It hasn't been proven, but they've been apparently doing this for the last 10 years and have raked in maybe close to $500,000 in cash, another $500,000 in prizes. So they had a forfeited boat, but they still made out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And
It's still possible that fish swallowed the weight. I mean, come on.
6 of them.
How many? Funnier things happen.
Some had 3 weights. Another fish had a weight. They also shoved fillets down their throats.
They put lead in there too.
Yeah, big lead weights, big egg sinkers.
Up here, they you could hear that one guy's bottle hit the ice, and they got this bar. If you ever go to Wisconsin, in Hayward, they got this bar called the Moccasin Bar. It's got all these world record pike crossed with whatever. These freaking fish, some of these bitches are over 3 feet long, and they were caught a long time ago.
Yeah.
But the Indians are the only ones that get the spear. But you do not want your feet in the water when you're catching muskies, because muskies got some sharp ass teeth. they'll bite your finger off.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the guys back then were allowed. I don't know if they're still allowed to, but they were allowed to have a 6-shooter with them, a gun to kill them before they got into the boat.
Well, in most states, I don't know about all states, especially California, but in most states, you can actually carry a firearm legally while hunting or fishing.
Well, I don't hear. I'm pretty sure you can here too, but
Most states, you can carry a
Well,
firearm
as a,
hunting or fishing.
as a matter of fact, because the bus that I drove was public, and you're not allowed to bring that gun in the courthouse. You're not allowed to bring it in any other government. So, you know, and they allow people to do that now. Some guys are security guards, but I mean, you can't do that anywhere else. What's up? Oh, what?
The one got bigger. One is eat people.
I don't know. Hey, where's Papa G? My friend's talking to his mama now, so he's like 64, so he's getting sweet on her. And so I told the boy there, I said, "That's Papa Gilbert. That's Papa G."
Gcash.
Yeah, exactly, man. Oh, are you kidding me?
Well, I got to get off here, but hey, you guys start watching for some
Uh,
of our Mississippi videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too.
We're gonna do some fishing, and hopefully, I'll get something
We
to share with you guys. So,
an hour and a half.
Craig,
Yeah.
good to see you, my friend.
See you, David.
Hey,
Have a nice day.
We'll talk to
Yeah,
you guys.
thanks for stopping,
Oh,
everybody.
Hey, all
Even the
right.
guys in the background there.
Yeah.
See you
Bye-bye.
later, Gator.
See you, man.
Thanks for coming.
No worries. See ya.